Good morning. Welcome to Physics World. Today we discuss about chapter 6, coal and petroleum. By hearing these two words, you may feel that you're already familiar with them. And you also know that these two are very important in our life. These are as important as water in our life. How we are unable to live without water? I can say that in this 21st century world, you cannot live, you cannot maintain your life without these two things. So you can't deny them, you can't avoid them. This is very, very essential in your life. Of course, within 2 minutes, we are going to discuss about depth about this coal and petroleum. Every day in our life, you see so many things around you, like the construction materials, electric appliances, water pipes, buckets, glasses, plates. So all these materials you're seeing, all these items you're seeing around you. And all these items, today's world, all these items are made by one particular type of material. When you go to any stationery shop, when you go to any shopping mall, you will find the different types of items there. But all these items are made of commonly one type of material. I think you already got what type of material it is. To give some more clues to you, let me give another example. Suppose you went to a function and you want to have the dinner. Then what you do? You have to pick up the food items onto your plate. Now tell me, the plate is made of which type of material? You want to drink water, so you want glass. You pick up glass from there. Tell me, the glass made of which type of material? I think you got it now. Yes, it is correct. That material is plastic. Everywhere is plastic. I can say this 21st century world is a plastic world. Everywhere we have plastic mania. Even though plastic is harmful to the environment, still we cannot avoid the plastic because of its wide applications and because of its less cost and its availability. Today, the plastic is replacing all other materials which are actually used in olden days. Our ancestors used to have all these items, like all these plates, glasses, kitchen utensils made of metals. Still, if you go to ancestors, they should have all these kitchen utensils and all other types of items made of clay. So the clay was replaced by metals. Now the metals, many metals items are replaced by plastic materials, plastic items. So in that way, plastic is dominating and plastic replacing each and everything today. So I have mentioned the word plastic mania. Yes, all the items are today made of plastics only. Most of them using plastics only. And do you know how plastic is made? Yes, plastic is made from petrochemicals. Then what are petrochemicals? You get to know within 5 to 6 minutes. Now, see the board. Here, I have mentioned some materials and how they are obtained. And all these materials you're seeing, these are very much popular and used in different types of items today. But all these are now replaced by plastics. If you see glass, how it is obtained? It is obtained by melting sand with other materials and cooling it rapidly. And you know, today we have so many glass items today also. Using glass, you have glass doors, glass tables, glass utensils, glass tumblers. So we have so many items. But these are very sensitive. They break if you apply larger force on them. Next, clay. Of course, today we do not have any items made by clay. And if we have, means you can find these materials in villages only, not in cities and towns. So clay, how it is made? It is made by mixing mineral kaolin with water. Now, wood. Yes, if you go to the ancestor time, olden days, today also we have some items Still, some items are popular with wood. If a new house is newly constructed, that house is having cupboards made by wood, the doors made by wood. Suppose if you want to construct a very strong door, you have to go with wood only, not with plastic. Hard plastics you can use, but still wood is very strong comparing to plastic. That's why in some items wood is dominating the plastic. And how it has come? From dried up trees, from trees only getting wood. Now, the hero of all the materials, plastics, how they're coming? They're coming from petrochemicals. Metals. Metals are very strong comparing to plastics, comparing to wood. But still, you can't give the guarantee that all the items are made by metal, even though it is strong, because it is expensive also. And it has some problem with the environment. Suppose if we have a metal chair, if you keep the metal chair in the open air for many days, then what will happen? We discussed in the previous chapters also. Metal's surface gets rusted. So they will have interaction with the oxygen and moisture in the atmosphere, and the surface will be spoiled. That's why some items which are actually popular and made by metals are replaced by plastics because of its reliability, durability, and the cost is very less. Okay, so we understand about the different items and how they are obtained. Now, see the bond once again. Here I have written two words, exhaustible and inexhaustible. What are these words means? Exhaustible means exhaust, means they won't be available for a longer time. Inexhaustible, yes, they're available for longer time. Then what are the exhaustible things? In this context, we are discussing about some resources. I told you earlier in the beginning of the class how water is essential to your life. Coal and petroleum are also so much essential in your life. Maybe I don't know, if you go to the future, if the water is not available, maybe you can live, but coal, petrol is not there, you cannot live, maybe. So what are exhaustible resources and inexhaustible resources? Means the resources which are available for us and which are used for different purposes like transport system, cooking purposes, and industrial purposes, factory management systems. So all these type of systems, the resources which are used comes under inexhaustible and as well as inexhaustible. Now the question is, what are exhaustible resources? Exhaustible resources means, already I mentioned you, that which can exhaust in course of time, means which can not be available to you in a course of time. So those resources are called exhaustible resources. And the exhaustible resource examples are coal, wood, petrol, diesel, right? Petrol, diesel, natural gas. This is also called CNG. I think you heard this word CNG many times nowadays for RTC, government buses and cars and some auto rickshaws. Backside they will mention the word CNG. We'll get to know what CNG means. So these are the examples for exhaustible resources. Means all these resources are available to you, but they won't be available for longer time. So if you take coal, how the coal is coming? The coal is coming from under the ground. When they're digging the ground, digging the earth, going to the mines, they are obtaining the coal. But already we have digged the ground for so much depth, we have created so much larger mining, so that today getting coal becomes very difficult for us. That's with the exhaustible resources. Now coming to wood, wood you get from trees. But do you know that in a modern world, to make the cities, towns attractive, what the government is doing? They're cutting the trees. They're cutting the trees, they're constructing the roads, they're constructing the flyovers, they're constructing the factories. Because of that, maybe the city will be very attractive. By constructing the factories, industries, maybe we'll get so much employment. But what happened to the environment? When the trees are not there, you'll get so many difficulties. When the trees are not there, you won't get wood also. So in that way, wood is also exhaust in a course of time if trees are not there. Next, petrol. Petrol, diesel, natural gas, all these are the products of petroleum. So petroleum is a mixed oil obtained under the sea or under the ocean. So these petroleum products also getting lesser and lesser. They're decreasing their storages day by day. Why? Because we are using this petrol, diesel, natural gas for different purposes. And I can tell you, in transport system, maximum amount of petroleum products are using. Due to that reason, the storage of these resources also decreasing. And hence, this also comes under exhaustible resources. These exhaustible resources have another name, another popular name, worldwide name we have. Actually, these items, examples are identified using that name, and that name is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. See the word fuel. Fuel, exactly. All these are used for fuel purpose also. So all these are called fossil fuels. And fossil fuels, exhaustible resources, both are same. So that's why scientists are so much worried that in coming future, if you want to have life, if you want to have transport system, if you want to have cooking, if you want to run the industries, if you want to run the engines and motors, we should have fuel. So what to do? What are the alternatives for these fossil fuels? Then they have discovered inexhaustible resources. And these inexhaustible resources are also called non-fossil fuels. Non-fossil fuels. And it has got another name also. I will tell you within 2 minutes. Non-fossil fuels. And the surprising thing is that non-fossil fuels are opposite to fossil fuels. Non-fossil fuels can have huge amount of resources. They don't be getting decreased in a short period of time. Means the production is more, the consumption is very, very less in this case. So the definition you can say, which cannot exhaust in course of time. That means the production is high. Production is high. Consumption is less. That's what the greatness of this non-fossil fuels. Now, these non-fossil fuels, what are the examples we can give? Tell me one example you know. Of course, so many examples you may know, but one example you can tell immediately that this is the fuel whose production is more but consumption is very, very less. What is the example? Yes, I think you got it. The example is solar energy. Solar energy, sun. Sun is the basic resource for non-fossil fuels. Sun gives solar energy, and using solar energy you can do all types of things what you are doing in these fossil fuels. And solar energy Production is so much high, but consumption is very less. Till today also we have so much of technology development is there. We have solar panels, we have solar cells. We're using solar energy in different types of in areas, like we are using solar cells in automobile system. We're using solar cells for producing electricity, and government is also suggesting all the people to depend on solar cells, because when summer comes, the water resources or the water storage will be decreased. Especially in Andhra Pradesh, we are very much troubled with the storage of water. All the rivers, all the ponds dried because of high temperature. So we will get a very less amount of water storages, and so government is doing power cutting the power with specific time intervals. Then what you do? Of course, we are using the inverters, but inverters also taking the power from the power produced from the power stations. But instead of that, depend upon the solar panels, depend upon the solar cells, generate the electricity by converting solar energy into electrical energy. So in that way, solar energy used in producing electricity, solar energy used in industries, solar energy used in automobile system. You tell me one area where the solar energy can't be used. It will be used each and every area. What are you available in the world? So solar is a very, very important non-fossil fuel, and it is also called, now I'm going to give a name to you. I told you I will give another name for non-fossil fuels. It is also called renewable energy source. Renewable energy sources. So this is the very important non-fossil fuel or renewable energy source. Now let me ask a question to you. You understand solar energy, you understand non-fossil fuel, and understand what is renewable energy. Now, do you know any other examples for these renewable energy sources? Guess. Have you got the examples of renewable energy resources? Yes. So let me list out those examples. In addition to solar energy, we have some more examples of writing. We have wind energy, renewable energy source. Wind energy can be obtained from windmills, like big fans with attached to a long pole at the hill stations, so that these fans are moving because of air. And when the fans moving because of air, you are converting wind energy into electricity. And when you produce electricity using electricity, anything is possible today. That's very important. Of course, production from a wind energy source is less compared to fossil fuels because of the establishment cost, because of the place availability, because of the seasonal problems. Because you can't expect the wind should be blown every time, every day throughout the year. It's not possible. Sometimes you have good wind, sometimes you do not have wind. So you have depend upon the frequency of the wind. That's why the production of electricity is comparatively less. In addition to wind energy, we have other energy sources also, like tidal energy, nuclear energy, oceanic energy, etc. All these are renewable energy resources only. Let me give you some more information about these three energies. Tidal energy, the energy also produced because of tides formed in the sea. So when you create a power plant near to the sea, and because of the tides produced in the sea, and those tides can create some kinetic energy and able to move the turbines of the power plant, and then you can produce electricity. Of course, establishment of power plant is very expensive, cost effective. That's why we don't find any tidal power plant in India. But in foreign, yes, we have some power plants. Nuclear energy, one of the best energy resource, and I can say it is the alternative to the coal driven power stations. In Andhra Pradesh, we have many power stations. We have coal driven power stations like thermal power plants. Thermal power plants where the coal is used, coal is burned. Because of coal burning, you get heat, and because of heat energy, electricity is produced. We have hydro power stations also in Andhra Pradesh, and these hydro power stations are actually placed near to the dams. Because in hydro power stations, the water falls from greater heights. From the dams, greater heights falls to the ground, and inside the ground you have the turbines. The water falls in the turbines, turbine starts rotating, and because of the turbine's movement, you're producing electricity. So that is hydropower station, and previously I mentioned coal power stations. To replace this coal power station and hydropower station, we have come up with nuclear power stations. Nuclear power stations is very efficient than hydropower stations and coal power stations. Why? Because hydropower station depends upon the water, and I already told you water, we have got so much of water scarcity. We don't have much water storages. In summer, it is very difficult to have water. We are not getting water for drinking. Now how could you expect that water is available for producing electricity in the hydropower stations? So very less amount of water you get available for hydropower stations. Similarly, coal is also getting lower and lower in storage capacity. So you have to think for another alternative where it should be very efficient and should give huge amount of electricity, and that is nuclear power stations. And in India, we have many nuclear power stations also, and they are working very efficiently. In nuclear power stations, they will use radioactive elements like uranium, thorium, polonium. These radioactive elements will undergo nuclear reactions and produce huge amount of energy. That is called chain reaction. But in nuclear power stations, generally they are called nuclear reactors. Nuclear reactor, where they will do this nuclear reaction by taking radioactive elements, and they produce nuclear energy, and that nuclear energy converts it to electricity. It gives huge amount of electricity today. Still, government is planning to establish more amount of nuclear power stations to protect to give huge amount of electricity to us. Yes. Now coming to oceanic energy. Oceanic energy is similar to tidal energy, but the difference is these tidal energies are power plants are established at the seas, near to the seas. These are established near to the oceans. It is also very cost effective. So that's why, as this is cost effective, this is okay, efficiency is less. Solar power plant is also a little bit cost effective, but some states have taken a brave step to establish power plants, and they are successful to produce electricity. So instead of all these things, the best one is nuclear power plants. That's why India is establishing so many nuclear power plants to have more amount of electricity, more amount of fuel. So in that way, the science is taking very active steps to find the alternative to the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, another disadvantage is that they are not eco-friendly. They pollute the environment. But non-fossil fuels, eco-friendly. They do not pollute the environment. These are called green energies. So that's why we are interested to have more power plants based on these green energies and to make make our environment pollution free. Okay, now I will tell you another two types of fuels which are frequently used in today's modern world. One is CNG and the other one is LPG. So what is CNG and LPG? CNG is called, CNG full form is compressed natural gas. Compressed natural gas, that is CNG. LPG, I think you heard this name I know that you know this name more than CNG, because LPG word is very old to you, and you're using this fuel before the CNG has developed, discovered. LPG, liquid petroleum gas, liquid petroleum gas, LPG. Now let me tell you about LPG, then we go for CNG. LPG, liquid petroleum gas, gas cylinders. Every day when you go to your kitchen room in your house, you can see a cylinder. It's very heavier, sometimes a red color, sometimes in green color. So these gas cylinders, generally we say used for cooking purpose, the gas cylinders are filled with this thing, liquid petroleum gas. It is also one product of petroleum. So how they will fill this petroleum in the gas cylinder? You know, generally when the gas leaks, you'll get gas everywhere in the room. But petroleum is not gas. Petroleum is in liquid state. But how are you getting gas? There the physics involved. Everywhere you have physics. So here what happens? They will take the petrol and they fill the petrol and the gas at very high pressure. When they fill the gas at very high pressure inside the gas cylinder, the gas converts into liquid. And in that way, they store the petrol in liquid state inside the cylinder. Now, when the gas cylinder delivered to you, you connect to your gas stove using a tube with the regulator. Yes, you have on the regulator. You have turned on the regulator. Yes. Now, when you take the lighter, when you when you lighten the lighter, the gas comes from the burner and the flame comes. That means what is happening when you turn on the regulator, the liquid which is in the gas cylinder again converting into gas, and that is flowing through the tube and come to your gas stove burner. How? Previously they have stored the gas in a liquid state. Now when they turned on the regulator, again the liquid converts into gaseous state. How it is possible? This is possible because of the pressure difference. The pressure difference in between the pressure of the gas cylinder and atmospheric pressure. When you turn on, immediately inside there is a valve, the valve will be opened, and when the valve is open, the atmosphere goes inside the gas cylinder and there is a pressure difference comes. Because the pressure difference, again the liquid form petroleum converts into gas, and the gas come to your gas stove. So in that way the LPG gas cylinder works. Today LPG cylinder is not only used for cooking purpose, there is another purpose also. For cars, exactly. For the cars, yes, of course we are using petrol and diesel. So to the alternative to petrol and diesel, today we are using LPG also. That's why when you want to buy a car and go to a car showroom, they will ask you which type of car you want to buy. LPG type, petrol type, CNG type, LPG petrol, dual fuel, like that. That's why LPG has got so many applications. It is also eco-friendly. Now coming to this, compressed natural gas, what is it is? Is it different from petroleum? Yes, of course it is different from petroleum, but it is obtained because of petroleum. When the people drill the ground, under the sea, under the ocean to get petroleum, where they're drilling the ground, in that area only, in addition to petroleum, some gas releases out. Long back, what happened? The scientists or the engineers never had any attention to that gas. But later they observed that the gas which is leaking out when they're obtaining the petroleum is also useful. And the gas which is leaking out is called natural gas. Now they have to convert the natural gas into fuel. That's why what they do, they collect the gas, they fill into the cylinders with high pressure. When they take the gas and when they keep inside the cylinder, they store inside the cylinder, fill inside the cylinder with high pressure, it is called compressed natural gas. Here one point you have to understand. In liquid petroleum gas also, the petroleum stored inside the gas cylinder at high pressure. Here also natural gas stored inside the cylinder at the high pressure. So here the important high pressure. That means if you want to capture the gas, if you want to hide inside a box, the method is store the gas at high pressure. Then it will be stored inside in that box for a longer time. So this compressed natural gas today become very, very eco-friendly fuel. We can say green energy, green fuel to us. But of course, the plants and I can say the bunks, the filling stations are very less in India. The compressed natural gas filling stations very less in India. That's why people are not attracted to this compressed natural gas. But in future, you will get more filling stations equivalent to petrol filling stations, so that compressed natural gas fuel is also become very, very popular. Petroleum is not a single product. Petroleum is a mixture of many components. In olden days, people used to understand that petroleum, when you refine it, you will get kerosene. That's why in olden days, one of the best fuel is kerosene, apart from coal and wood. But today, because of technology developed, we have understood that petroleum is not a mixture of small components. Petrol is a mixture of many components. Petroleum used in many varieties of applications. See this board once. You get to know that how the petroleum and its mixing components are used in different areas. You can understand that these are the wide areas of applications. But how they will use the petroleum in different areas of application? They will separate all the components from the petroleum mixture using a process called as fractional distillation. In fractional distillation, all the items will be separated at different temperatures. See here, below 40 degrees Celsius, the petroleum is heated, and at the 40 degrees Celsius, less than 40 degrees Celsius, what you are getting? You are getting fuel gas, LPG, liquid petroleum gas, just now we have discussed. Now keep on increase the temperatures. At 70 degrees Celsius, the petroleum is giving chemicals, shoe polish, cleaning solutions, etc. At 120 degrees Celsius, you are giving petrol, the original petrol used as fuel for cars and automobiles, dry cleaning solutions. At 170 degrees Celsius, kerosene, the old fuel, the same kerosene used for wick stoves also. At 270 degrees Celsius, diesel, another alternative to petrol. Diesel generators, you know that at big shopping malls, when there is no power, they used to have a generator which works with the fuel diesel. At 400 degrees Celsius, lubricant oils used for machinery parts to reduce the friction. 600 degrees Celsius, fuel oil, industrial boilers. So in that way, almost at different temperatures, it has got so many applications. And another surprising thing, after petroleum fractional distillation is finished, the residual part, the part which is left, it is also used in different types of manufacturing things. And the residual part is paraffin wax. And it is used in making of paints, some ointments, etc. So in that way, petroleum is not an easy thing here. Petroleum is not an easy material. It has got everything inside, and that it releases at different temperatures. So hats off to those people who actually understood that petroleum has got these many products, and those products can be out at different temperatures. Thanks to them.